Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning.
Hello.
Some people. Good to have you here. Paul Tranny with Sasha Vinogradova, the one and
I
only.
feel like in the end of the third day, you're totally going to say it fast.
I know. Yeah, right? It's speeding up. I'm like a little bit more, a little bit more flavor with that, the way I said it at that point. I did say the one and only, but there might be other people with your name.
Lots of them.
Yeah, you sound disappointed.
No.
Because it's such a cool name, though. I'm like, Sasha?
I like my name, but I'm telling you, I have at least 4 friends in my Facebook with the same name.
And some days you forget who you are.
Yeah, I like waking up like, who am I? What's happening?
Well, I will say who you are is amazing. You're an amazing person, super sweet, just like the best person ever. Full of talent, and thank you so much for yesterday. I'm so glad that these are archived. You can check out the replay tab. She does amazing work, and I really enjoyed yesterday. I think everybody here, we have this broadcasting in the other room, so people are watching it in other rooms. It's really cool. So just give her a warm welcome and say hello and thank you for hanging out with us.
Well, thank you
for
having me
Wednesday.
here. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, of course. Can't get enough of it. So good. And yes, we are, Chloe, we're very stylish right now. This is
we
working.
already discussed it. We're like, okay, we look like we're prepared.
We want to say that we planned it, but we didn't. We're just in sync. So that's good.
Yeah.
So I guess we can kind of dive into it.
Absolutely.
I do also kind of want to show what you did yesterday, just to kind of, we'll share this link is what we could do, but I was just going to open up this JPEG.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. So this is basically
what we did yesterday.
Yeah, what Sasha made yesterday. And really, so we're going to pass out this link. She was kind enough to give everyone actually multiple files, but to really get into this detail, look at these layers and everything. I mean, it gets more and more interesting the closer you get to it.
I think this is just a preview, so it doesn't do the justice.
Yeah, it doesn't do it justice.
Check out the file.
Exactly. I was just kind of just zooming in. I guess I could actually do this. That's much better. I mean, come on now. Look at how gorgeous that is. Just gorgeous. So definitely pick that apart. We'll pass out the link. Thank you so much, Voodoo Val, for doing that. And it's fun because day 2, you're going to work on a different project as well, right? So we'll go ahead and switch to your screen.
Yeah, so I have a link which I shared with you guys of all works I'm going to do for 3 days. But maybe just to share a file I'm working on today.
So, and thank you for pointing that out. So again, just click on that link Voodoo Val sent, because that has multiple files. Yesterday's file, today's file, and tomorrow's file.
Yes, and tomorrow's file.
Look at that!
Yeah.
But you're not going to know how to put together that
the
file today or tomorrow.
No, you gotta watch it.
You have to watch, because just opening up PSD doesn't do it justice.
Yeah. So let's start. Let me show you what we're going to work on today, and as always, let's start with my favorite references. So, before I start working on anything, I'm going through my tons of Pinterest boards and what do I want to do? Mm-hmm.
And this is in general. Just sorry to interrupt. Your plan is to make a movie poster or a poster of some sort.
Yes. So for whom missed yesterday. My theme, I'm doing a movie poster per day, and it's some abstract movie poster. It's just a general idea of movie poster. So it was really open topic.
Which is awesome. And by the way, this is what you do for a living. You're in the entertainment industry, developing this artwork, these you call them frames?
Right now, I work in motion graphics, so I mostly do frames. Before that, I used to work in key art. I used to do posters for a living. But the principle is the same with both frames and posters. You need to start with the idea, with your general look, what are you going for? What's your intention? So. And I usually save a bunch of references and put them like this on one canvas so I can see them all together and realize what's the pattern, what's I like. I usually split them in a different groups. So Like here, I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. I was just gathering whatever I was like inspired with.
Yeah, and by the way, so you also showed Pinterest yesterday, which was cool. Just like all that inspiration, and kind of from all of that inspiration, you've developed this one canvas of images,
exactly.
which is so cool.
So I knew I wanted to do something with a portrait. So I probably like girl portrait, but like didn't know for sure. I always like working with the nature elements like flower, birds, all this awesome. And I really like the idea of like a disturbing beauty. Like every time you add like anything like bones related to it, get a little gaudy.
Love it though.
Yeah.
I'm really into this contrast of bones and flowers. Like this is like, I love this style.
So I love it very much too. And I wanted to go with a very gentle look. I like this like pink desaturated look. And also with the, like when I was going through like references of the people, of the portraits I like this like very pale look. Also in here I like this like a reddish nose and cheeks to add like more this innocent look to it, to juxtapose with something like creepy. So this was my board. Before I do not know what I do. I just have my board of inspiration. And then I went through Adobe Stock with all the awesome photos they have there.
She's reading that on the script over here. Saying awesome photos on Adobe Stock.
You guys are repeating too often.
I love it. But no, it's good. So you were able to get some good ones.
Yes.
Have you? Were those just summer preview files?
So this what I like started with, and I was just going through stuff, and there were many. Like I really wanted to dive in and actually like developing this like pale look, but then I just found this awesome series, and I was like, it just can't. I can't pass it.
Yeah.
This was like, this is already.
It's gotcha.
This is already way too beautiful. Like it's there. I'll just take it. It's just so inspiring. So after all this.
Hats off to the photographer, by the way,
Yeah,
because those
I
are
know.
great.
This is like gorgeous. There are some amazing photographers there. So after that, so let's see my work in progress one file. Which is opening. Okay, so I decided to go with this concept. But so before I got in there, I actually had a couple things to like explore in terms of, ideas. So I thought maybe to do this, or like I also was thinking about something like this. I know like this how sketch looks before I start working. I just throw a very quick composition with like idea. Like here I thought maybe like flowers are growing, but actually there is like a painted flowers going on her face. I thought that would be cool. But then I thought about this, and I thought it would be cool to imagine that flowers are actually growing out of her veins.
So cool.
That's what I was going with. So
which is like a great idea, by the way. I think it's super cool.
Thanks. So after I knew what photo I'm using, I went to, again, stock to pick up some flowers. It's very important to pick the right images in the stock. Very important. You most of the time can't mimic the light, so you need to pick photos which are matching light-wise. If you have a soft light and you're grabbing photo with like a harsh direct light, it's almost impossible to like match them and combine them in one. So be aware. And like, for example, if you have a white background photo, don't grab flowers from a dark background photo, because it's just impossible to make them work together. And I went through bunch of different flowers, and then I found this awesome photo, which, like, good thing about it, I have a variety of flowers to work with. The general lighting matches my lighting in the actual photo. Plus, all those flowers are matching to each other because they've been shot in one scene.
And
So-
this is like one credit, basically, too.
Yes,
You're getting
it's one
like,
credit.
yeah.
Yes. So getting like this one photo, I don't have to match all the flowers. They're already kind of matching to each other. If you can't find photo like this, I would say try to go with a photo shoot. Like lots of artists, they actually post the series of photos, but the lighting still matches. It's very important. So it would make your life much easier if you just grab photos which are already matching.
Yeah, and a lot of times in Adobe Stock, if you select an image below it, it'll give you the related photos.
Yes, yeah,
So
very,
that's like
very
a good
easy.
way to.
Yes, and sometimes it's also easy to just go check the artist's work, go through some like key words in their portfolio, and you'll find everything they did, and lots of it are very similar. So it's it works very well for you. Okay, let's start. So my first sketch looked like this. You can tell it's very rough. I didn't even try to make it look nice. I needed a proof of concept.
Yeah, you didn't. Just kidding.
But yeah, like
Just
see,
joking.
like you don't need some.
So
some
this is just a
fancy-
proof of concept,
Yes.
like quick.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, this will work. And from here, let's start working.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think everybody's really digging the reference photos. Love the idea. It actually feels a little bit like, I could even see kind of a little bit of like a Russian influence here, a little bit maybe.
Maybe I don't know. Sometimes the influence comes in, and you're like, well, I didn't know it's there, but it's there.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned Day of the Dead, so that kind of works too.
Yeah.
I totally get it. And Adi says, Sasha, you're the most inspiring artist I've ever seen on Adobe Live for me. Your job is done here.
Yeah. Bye.
I agree. Well, you get it. Like when it's interesting when you have, like, you know, people that are supposed to probably be working are paying attention. Like if we can grab Paco's attention, which we'll probably do, it's like we're onto something. You know, when you have the other hosts and people in the other room are watching as well.
I hope it will be helpful, and you guys will learn something new.
Those are great images. Oh, by the
Yes.
way, so like you're matching all these flowers kind of come from. They're all part of the same photo shoot.
Yeah.
They all match that other photo too.
Yes.
Like they're
so
that.
you have to think this way. You like have to think, okay, I have like a pretty much like one soft light source, and I need image which is the same way. And right now it doesn't match exactly in terms of like light here coming from the left side, and on the girl it's coming from the top. But you know, we'll just rotate it in a way that it will match.
Okay.
So I'll start with compositing my first flower. As I said yesterday, there are so many ways to cut out the image, million ways. But in this particular case, you can see how like image is very soft. I can't really grab any like color selection here. Plus, I want like refined edges.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'll just go with pen tool. And
No, I'm into it because you could try different selection tools and in things, and you'll realize you spend so much time cleaning up that initial selection.
Yes,
It's
sometimes-
easier to just
yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes there's
totally agree.
no way at all, no like need at
There's-
all in doing what I'm doing now, because it would just be like, why? Tomorrow I'm going to show some matte painting, landscaping, comping, and there are lots of things. Like I have this skeleton whale, which I didn't cut by hands. It was just mostly like a color selection, which is very cool. I'll show it tomorrow. But today will be very boring cutting out, so stay tuned.
But I agree. So like your this whole style and look is everybody's really interested in it. So let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, right now I can talk a lot because I'm not using my brain.
Yeah. No, you're good. What would you usually do, like if you're at work doing this? Are you listening to something?
Yeah,
or
I'm usually I
show?
usually listen to music when I'm working on something more intense, something like this. Yeah, I can start listening to some like podcast or some show.
Something that you can
turn
kind of
on
like
Netflix on sometimes.
Yeah, kind of tune in and out of. Like even if it's something that you've seen before is always good.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I watched Friends so many times.
Right?
At this
I
point.
hear so many. I feel like Friends, like so many people do that.
Yep.
Specifically to Friends.
I just like, you don't need to use your brain watching it, but then you weirdly enjoy it a lot. Just something I watched as a kid, so can't have enough.
Into it. It's looking great.
So, I'm done cutting out this flower, and when you're done with your vector path, you go to the channel on paths with control, clicking on the path, and clicking on the creating a mask. So this is good. I like.
You did that pretty quick though.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. So I like edges to be a little softer. So right now, see, it's pretty sharp, and you can do it just here. So
you're selecting that layer mask
properties.
in properties.
Yes.
And then you're feathering. Were you feathering?
Yeah, I was feathering 0.6. You can do the same thing with just either blurring the mask or going to the mask and feather.
That's good, and that's a global setting.
Yes, it's a global setting. So sometimes it's just one button and it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, so many ways to do it. Converting it into smart object, bringing it into the scene.
By the way, so like Marcus is mentioning a couple shows that he watches, we encourage you to just have like Adobe Live on. Let us be your friends, if you will.
Oh yeah, now I know that's it's
because it's one of those things you can listen to.
Absolutely.
We'll use our best radio voices.
I always have a good voice.
Yeah, we're into it. You have a little bit of an accent.
So at this point, bad advice, don't do that. I'm going to merge everything. I'm going to work distractively because I don't like when Smart Object gives me this. And it's totally fine. It bugs me out. And I know it's not going to go further with like any retouchers.
Exactly.
So it's just
like that's what I say all the time. Yeah, you're not going to need that white from that flower, right?
Yes. So my personal,
I agree.
Because it's my personal work, I'm just merging it in one layer. You guys, if you work for a client, if you know someone else going to work on this file, maybe don't do that. So if you look at this flower, the light comes in from this side, when in the image, light comes in from this side. So you need to rotate it. And in my case, I also flip it because...
that's a great tip. Command T, and then when you right click, you can do a flip, a rotate horizontal or vertical.
Yeah, yes.
Those submenus are nice when you do a Command T.
Absolutely. Very awesome. Okay, so, before I start comping it in, I need to know an actual placement of where I'm going to have it. In order to have it, I actually need to bring the veins, because the vein is going to be connected with the flower. So let's actually proceed with comping veins in. So I already have an image I found on Adobe Stock. It was a great image, kind of gross, but very...
Veins, okay.
Very awesome. So I have this image.
So good. I mean, it's just the whole, like, I'm a firm believer in, like, you need to use or at least reference actual images, like, use them whenever you can.
Yeah. And same deal. See how nicely it works, that it's, like, if I rotate it, the lighting matches. Here, again, I'm working distractively. You guys don't do that.
But again, like you know you're not going to need that black from that photo. You're just not going to need
Yeah,
it.
but like in terms of if I have to like scale it up and down,
Yeah.
it's I
True,
might
scaling.
lose some quality. So if I know I have to press it later, that's not a good idea. But I know I'm not going to, so it's fine. So I'm going to convert it into smart object, and on the opacity, place the veins in the way I like it. In this particular case, I like this area of the veins. I think it's very interesting, but it's kind of all in this lower part. So I'm going to use warp tool to place it where I need it. Okay.
And this is another reason, like, again, just like deleting the black, you just have that selection area.
Yes, in just one area. That's partly why I did it. And okay, so one of the awesome tips here, how to marry this with this other photo. I do this in a way of separating colors and values. So in order to merge two images, you know how it's always easier to composite black and white photos rather than colorful photos? It's because with black and white photos, you work just with values. You just don't need to worry about color.
Mm-hmm.
And here in my method, I'm going to do the same. So first I'm throwing an adjustment layer, the saturation adjustment layer, and desaturating the entire image. And instantly, sorry, I'm jumping back and forth, I see that there is no value in like a girl image, and like it's almost white, something I don't like. I need some value from black to white, and coming back to original girl image, I need to bring some value here. It's too blown out, and artist obviously did an awesome job retouching the image, but I need a little bit more space to work with. And if you just do curves, usually it doesn't work as nicely. I prefer doing, you talked about it a lot today, camera raw filter, because it just to me works the best in terms of like when you need to bring back some value. So I'm going to do this just a touch, just to get to the point where I actually have some like a little
Am
bit
I
more.
the only one that hits auto in that screen? I think I'm the only one that just like hits auto. Because you need a kind of a place to start, I feel like.
Maybe. I mean, in this particular case, I just know that I need to bring more value, so I don't need to do
you don't need to do everything else.
Auto.
Got it.
Yes. So now when we have a little bit bigger range of values to work with, coming back to this vein thing, desaturating everything on top, and grabbing adjustment layer, clipping it into our veins, and you can just get to the point where you match the look of the, like you don't need to be like 100%, because I know I'm also going to blend it in with the brushes, but this is a good value. And now values are good, and now
I love this.
I need to bring it in with color, like to match color. So I get another curves, clipping it in there too, and switching a mode to the color. It means whatever I do with curves, I can go crazy, values never changes. So whatever I did on the bottom with like my values is there. It's like not going to, the only thing which is changing right now is color. So if you turn everything black and white on top again, you see that this does not affect, well, a little bit. But
I like your idea. Like your goal is
no.
to.
Well, sorry, it's actually
So
okay.
color, you're just changing the color without changing the
check
value.
this out. I just did hue saturation wrong. If you change the hue saturation on just the color too, you can see that this layer does not affect my values at all. It's just color, and it's very awesome because I know whatever is on the background, my values work perfectly fine. I need to worry just about colors.
Okay. So, and just to kind of recap, because I know you went pretty fast there. So you added a curves layer, and curves layer was set, the layer mode set to color, and then you can manipulate all that all you want, and it won't destroy the brightness or darkness of that.
Yes. When I say values, that's what I mean: brightness and darkness of the image.
Yeah, very cool.
So here I can see that image is too red. I need to maybe drop my reds a little bit.
Like how, that's just so cool. That's like good.
And I need to add a little bit of green.
Linda Friday says amazing skills.
Thank you.
She needs to watch it back in slow-mo.
I'm sorry, if I go too fast, I can probably slow down, but I also want to show you guys how I combined everything. So
and again, everybody can always rewatch this. We could always pause it, all the things.
Please do. Okay, so let's say the matching, more or less. I also think I would add, I guess, a little bit more green.
Helmet, you're into it? It says keep going. And again, this is like, I feel like you're really nailing you first nailed the value, right? By adding a check layer. I heard some people call it a check layer, the hue saturation, when you turn everything black and white.
Okay.
Then you work on the values, and then you work on the color. I like separating out, and I've seen many. We've like had Aaron Nace here from Flern, did it the same way. Nathaniel Dodson from Tutvids, the same thing.
Yeah,
Really
it's just like it. Our brains kind of like, it's hard to maintain two things, but like when you separate color and value, it's much easier to comp things in. You don't have to be that specific, just easier. And see, after colors are already right, like I'm just blending it in with a soft brush, and it just sits there nicely. So, don't need to do much work.
Does she work out?
Yeah, she
got
already
one strong
went.
forearm.
She already went to the
workout
gym
bra?
this morning, So I want a little bit more in this area too. So I'm going to just duplicate what I did. I'm going to merge everything again. Don't do that. Don't do that again. Don't do that. And I'm kind of going to.
Winnie Martinez says, Sasha, you're amazing.
Thanks.
Somebody else said, I don't know who was wondering if you have a fan club, because they wanted to be a part of your fan club. You basically have fans.
Wow. This is like.
And thank you so much for sending out the files.
Oh yeah, guys, check. So everything I do right now is in the file, so you can totally grab it and see what I'm doing now. It's there. So please check it out. Okay, so I have my vein layers.
Less than 2 minutes, we'll do a little chat and win, and we'll give away a little Moon notebook, which I'll grab really fast.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. Right over there.
So I already kind of cut out some other things.
Thank you, sir.
Not to bore you guys out with lots of masking.
First of all, you cut out that flower like super quick. That was pretty impressive. Because when you said, "Oh, I just need to cut this out," I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna be here a while," but you knocked it out. Good job.
Okay, not again. Merging everything. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
And so I'm going to place this guy somewhere where.
Yeah, I want to know who wants to be part of Sasha's fan club. Marcus wants in. Ryan wants in.
Cool. So I'm going to place it. See how like vein comes here? So this will be a continuation of the vein here. And
do you ever? This would be also. I don't know if you're going to get into it. It's a good case for like puppet warp. Have you played with it?
I played with that. It's really great, but right now I'm too lazy to get into it.
No, you're totally good. But if you ever need to bend that in a certain way.
Yeah, no, it's great, especially like when you work on some like branches or like I last time did it with the trees. Was very nice.
Dick Chen Tamang wants to be in your fan club.
Great.
Linda
More people.
wants to. Chad, yeah. Fabiola. So we need to see who's going to be the president of the fan club. We need a treasurer.
Wow, things are getting
It's
serious.
like the admin, somebody to keep the minutes of the meetings. So.
Okay, before that happened, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing here. Okay, so now is like, okay, we placed everything, like, but what to do to actually merge it together, make it look awesome, make it like it belongs together. So I'll start the shadow.
We'll start with some fireworks. That's also fun. I can't wait to see where this goes. Right now, we're going to dive into Chat and Win. That's awesome! It's so cool. Well, welcome back, everybody. Just to go ahead and type something up in the chat pod here, and say, "Hey, great hair! Yes, I want to be part of the fan club." Whatever the case may be.
How do you peek? How do you you just randomly know?
Oh, how do we pick? Usually, whoever sends us money or gifts or candy.
Bribes
It's usually
always work.
candy. No. It's totally random. But what you are gonna win is this. If it's this little book. Yes, it's Sasha's diary. You will win Sasha's diary. But it's a Moo notebook and is lined and unlined and very fancy. And I like how it opens like this because I just
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice
it doesn't.
last time.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
awesome.
You can lay it flat. And congratulations to Louis Nanita. Louis.
Oh, my brother is there.
Nanita. Where's your brother? Lev.
Lev. Yes.
Lev. Oh. I wish it would have won, Lev, but Luis won this fabulous notebook, and we'll send that out to you. Congratulations. Just want something nice we want to do for you, just for hanging out with us. Say that we appreciate you watching and learning, quite frankly. So I think this is like invaluable.
It's awesome. Yeah.
It's, again, like I said, it's really hot. When you get Paco's attention, we got his attention earlier. He's like, "What? Wait, what'd you do?
Success.
How'd you do that?" Like, that's a win. That's a huge win.
I'm happy.
So good job. But keep it going, because he was, I think...
Okay.
Yeah, you do your thing.
Fun part starts. I love this part. So, shadows. Shadows is what makes things great. Sometimes, not always.
And by the way, like, just a quick shout out. I know Paco asked a question about, like, the coloring. Did you shift the color of that real fast?
No,
Of the branch, or no?
Of the branch?
The stem?
Oh no, I just dropped whatever was. It's so far untouched.
Okay, gotcha.
What?
Cool.
Okay, so going to the flower. So first of all, I see that flower has some weird edging.
Some slight, slight edging.
If it's this subtle, you can just control click on the image and create a mask of its own, and it's weirdly like, removes some of it.
It weirdly removes some of it.
Yes.
Huh. You don't even have to do anything.
No, you don't.
That's the best tip ever.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to show you a tip where you don't even have to do anything.
No.
Yeah, I did not know. That's fascinating.
So this flower right now is too blown out. Like you can tell that the same deal happened as with the photo of a girl. Our white values are just too blown. We need to make it like a little darker to have a little bit more space to work with. So same deal, filter, camera raw filter. By the way, this morning I was watching Anna's live stream, and I use raw filter a lot, but she's a pro in it.
Wow,
So
I
you
know.
guys, if you guys never worked with a raw filter, check out her live stream.
Especially, I would say, like an hour in, like you really watch something like, it's kind of working, to amazing within like 5 minutes.
Yes, it's totally worth it. What I'm doing here is just super basic. She did some awesome masking there, so So see how cool, like I'm just moving exposure and you can see like all the information here comes in which you haven't seen before. So
I don't know where that information's coming from, but I like it.
So obviously you might think it's too dark, and it is too dark, but now we have full value from dark to white. So I'm going to erase a little bit of my camera raw filter just on the areas where things supposed to be.
Slow clap.
Things supposed to be bright.
Does everybody get that? So again, smart object, smart filter, painting with black.
Everything is very smart.
Yes, if it says smart, you just select it. This is like a good idea.
Okay, so now it kind of matches the environment a little bit more. Let's draw a shadow. Shadow is always fun. So in order to make a realistic shadow, or semi-realistic, you would select your image and create a mask of this image in the new layer below. And I'm taking a color of the shadow which already exists.
Yes.
I saw so many times people drawing shadows with like either multiplying some random color or black shadows. Black shadows most of the time just create a little bit like of dirt.
Yeah.
So I would highly strongly recommend to keep keep it in a certain color. But for now, like I'm going to color it later. Right now, I'm more interested in shaping it in a correct way. So I merge it again, and I'm going to warp it. I'm going to warp it to mimic the bend of her hand. So because her hand actually like not a flat object, and
that's good. That's such a good tip. Like shadows are rarely, if ever, black. Like they're never going to be gray. You can't.
No. And now the best thing ever. The best thing ever. I'm using this tool. I'll show you. I'll show you how to do that. To control the.
That's just a smudge.
It's just a smudge. I'll show you what brush I'm using, but like the shadow is sharp where it's close to the object and very soft when it's farther away from the object, and we need to mimic it to make it look realistic. And I found it hard to use just a blur image or anything else to control it well. Maybe there is another way. If you guys know, I would be thrilled to know other way. Like this is the way I use a lot, and to me it works very awesomely because I have full control of how blurred the shadow edge is.
And by the way, like I want to point out that your strength for this blur brush is at 50%, which really matters.
About brush, this brush is actually, if you guys check out Sam Nielsen, he's an amazing artist. He is a instructor himself. I found his brushes like million years ago, and like here he shares all of them, and you can here download tool presets. And interestingly, he uses it as a tool preset, so it's not often, but that's how he uses it. And he's like, I found the Smudge Nice tool is one of the best I ever saw, so I recommend this brush a lot. Also, because I use smudge a lot, I have a hotkey for this. So see, I'm switching between my brush and smudge tool with a hotkey. Andrew shown how to do hotkeys today, but just if you guys missed it, you can go to preferences, not preferences, keyboard shortcuts. And from there, pick whatever shortcut you want. Sometimes they're already taken, so you need to erase them.
Yeah, what are you gonna add a shortcut for?
Smudge tool. So I already have it here. I usually remove the, I think it was quick selection mask, which I don't use very often, and then I add for smudge tool, I find it here, and this is my W. So you can change it here.
You know what, and that's actually good because you are using a Wacom, so you kind of want to make it a one key shortcut is what you're going for.
Absolutely.
I do, like my trick is to not disturb any of the current shortcuts. So I mash down all the keys and then S is what I would do.
What? Can you
I
show
would
me?
mash, I would do Control Option Command and then S for smudge.
Oh, that's
Just
so
because
cool.
I know
How
that it's not going to be taken by anything.
How do you do that? Like, so is it already by default there, or is it
No,
something
it's
you
not.
need
You
to
got to
set
set
up?
it up.
Oh, smart.
But I know that I just take the first letter and it's those three keys like every single time.
That would
It doesn't
make
matter
so
the
much
app.
sense.
Anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's keep working on the shadow. Again, everything which is close to the actual flower gets a little sharper. Everything which is farther away gets
A little more blurry and transparent.
yes. So what I did here is just a mask. So I'm with Control, selecting mask, putting it in a new layer, and it's now part of my layer as a mask, because it's not just edges of the shadow, it's also values of the shadows. Shadows are darker under the object, like when it's closer to the object, and they're softer and like not as strong when they farther away. So I'm just going to do that with a brush. I put this layer on multiply. I'm picking my the shadows, the color shadow I already used, which already exist in this image, and I'm just painting in the shadows. So I'm using like a soft brush.
I like that.
And you can see, like, even I pick color, it's still not a correct color because it's more desaturated and like blacker than everything else. So in order to, I just see that it lacks saturation. So I need to I'm just boosting saturation here. And because your edges of the shadow already contained in the mask, you don't have to worry about. Here you're just worrying purely just about how dark you want your shadow. So, and again, if you want to adjust your edges, you just go to the mask and adjust the mask. Cool. And here, I think I want it a little lighter. And generally, I tend to like overdo it a little bit, and I know that, so I'm just going to put it on less. Okay, so this shadow is done, and let's move on.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Any questions about that? I like all your tips. Everything you just said. It's like it's going to be more blurry the further away. Of course, it's going to be more transparent, but just merely the amount of painting. And you started with just like duplicating more or less the shape of the flower.
Yes.
So, and Paul asked about this earlier, but everybody's interested in your morning routine for some reason. They want to know everything about you. They were like, what's your shampoo of choice? Like what is it? Mine's hotel shampoo. That's my shampoo of choice.
Mine is a herbal essence, and I don't use conditioner ever. And my hairdresser's like, what?
Wow.
But I remember this advertising. That's how I know advertising works. I remember being a kid, I saw this herbal essence shampoo advertising where like you see a person from behind with long hair, awesome, beautiful, and he turns away and it's like a biker.
Oh, it's a biker. That's funny. So you're like, I guess I want cool biker hair. That's
I just enjoyed how like shampoo brand didn't take itself too seriously, so made my day. Okay, and my morning routine, I'm actually like trying to establish new routine where I would go to the gym in the morning, but it's really hard.
Yeah.
And then
I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's I need to color correct the flower. Right now it's yellow. I don't like it yellow. Like if you guys take a look at the final result.
And hey there, buddy. Would you, because it's also straight out. I guess you want it that way. I don't know if the weight of the flower would actually make it tilt down slightly or not.
I don't know. I'm kind of thought like in this case it goes up. So.
Yeah, no, I love it, and that's what I like about it. It's like it almost feels more organic. The fact that it's not straight across.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's just so cool. And by the way, she gave these files to you.
Yeah.
You have
so
these.
guys, grab the files if you want.
Yeah, and then just send her money as a thank you.
Nope, it's free.
When did you first learn Photoshop?
Like
what? Do you remember the version number? Maybe
7.
7.
Yes, the one with the feather.
The one with the feather. Into it. That's probably in one of the. There was a time where we were doing feathers and things like that. That was like post eyeball, if you will.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Something like that.
It's okay. Okay, so let's move on to the stem. Here. Same deal.
Hey, see you, buddy. Good seeing you. Everybody's dropping in. Good to see ya. In the cool new studio, by the way. We're at 100 Hooper in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Only been in this building maybe a month-ish, a month and a half. So it's kind of fun. And we have
it's such a cool location.
And
we'll
give you a little tour like afterward if you have time. Is the hope. But
I thought there's more to see. Oh, I bet there's a lot.
So yeah, Chad, the files Sasha made yesterday, they're all at that link that Voodoo Val posted. Files she made yesterday, files for today.
Yeah.
Maybe even something in there for later. Yeah, for tomorrow. But you're not gonna know what to do with it because you know what? She purposely didn't name any of her layers, so you have to tune in. Just kidding.
I hardly named something. That's just general things. So I'm doing the same thing with this guy.
Well, it's just
how much time do we have?
Cool. You are doing great. So yeah, thank you so much for reminding me. I have not mentioned the challenge, but basically we have this Photoshop challenge. You can check out the challenge tab. It's all about making a poster.
I got so excited
I know,
hearing
it's like
about
right
it. I'm
up,
like,
it's
wow, nice.
I'm sure they did it intentionally, like for you, knowing that you're doing this. That's why they have that as the challenge today. So make a movie poster, post it through the challenge tab, and we'll review those in less than 45 minutes.
Okay, so here, did the same thing.
Hey, Jan Eric, I believe it. If you need a movie poster made, we know who we could commission, but I'm like, I don't know if I could afford you. You're pretty darn good. Look at this. You're doing it pretty much the same.
Yep, same deal.
Way.
Yes.
And again, just to kind of recap, you work on the outline, if you will, first.
Yes.
And then you start painting it in, which is so fun because you could start to see it like come to life.
Yeah, So like everything as you saw today, it's like all about making things easier for yourself and separate them. So like when you comp things in, separate it in color and value. When you do shadows, separate them on the edges and actual values. It's like it becomes easier when you just split complicated tasks in.
Just certain in steps.
Yep. For sure.
You're like, you know how you do it, so easy. But you're right, that's good. It's encouraging, because everything kind of follows the same process. Like it's all about making these photos match.
So here, I did the same with the camera, that I needed a little bit of,
and now you're adding some highlights. Is kind of what you're doing?
Yeah. So I turned it into. I made it darker with a camera raw filter, and now I'm adding highlights, and it's not enough.
Slow clap for that too.
So I'm doing one more layer with just curves. And you can see that I usually like do the amount of the layer I need, then I invert curves into like an invert mask, so it's not there anymore, so I can paint it in. So doing that.
I was going to give you a shout out to your website, Sasha Vinogradova, and from there you can jump out to Instagram as well.
Oh yeah.
Is it your
that.
name? I'm trying to like. Yeah, there we are. Perfect. Wait, what it? You are.
It's not easy.
Yeah, no, it's fine, and that's why I'm saying like
Just
go to
give
your
up.
website. Google
Yeah,
her, go to her website. You'll find it. It's
I
out
can
there.
actually show you that. It's like if you go. This is my website, and here you can check out my Instagram.
You know, you do have 2 M's in that Instagram.
Tell me about. Oh wow.
2 M's.
Well, you know. Sorry. Good to know.
No, it's just like, I'm like, wait, you do, like,
Yeah.
wow. I thought everything was like, okay, you're human now. Is that you just humanize yourself a little bit there? Like, oh wow.
Okay, so let's move on. I want to color correct the flower, and if you remember my original references, I wanted to have like this pink touch, not where was it? Everything like more in pink area than in this yellow. So I'm going to grab my flower, and here I want to turn everything yellow into the pink. I can do it in different ways, like, you know, I can do that with hue saturation, but sometimes I don't like how hue saturation works, especially when you separate just colors, which like, I guess it works in this particular way, when I'm just changing just yellows into pink. But you also can do that in a different way, like, I also kill in saturation a little bit. Well, I guess it worked very well. But sometimes you can use selective color. In the same deal, you can. I sometimes like just getting this and play with this and the selective color and see what I want and where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I actually don't use selective color. Like, I don't think I've ever used it.
I love it. It's great. It's like especially great as one of the final steps overall, because it separates the colors and you can, like, you know, generally change your toning of the entire piece, and you sometimes don't know what's wrong until you like move things around. Okay.
Yeah, instead of Adobe Sensei, we can call it Adobe Sasha. So we have something called Adobe Sensei, which is like our AI, you know, human learning, all that stuff. And it should be Adobe Sasha, because
Okay.
you're good.
Thanks.
I'm just helping out Jan Eric with all of his creative writing over there.
And here I sometimes it's good to put overlay or soft light layer on top and paint a little bit of light and shadows. Just don't overdo it. Oh, that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I think this
And
flower.
your paint, what were you just doing on that layer? 'Cause it's kind of hard to see what's on there.
Right now it's just colors on overlay layer. I was doing like black and white colors on overlay.
To give it like a little more depth.
Yeah, just
Okay.
a little bit more depth, and like here, see, I didn't like how like dirty this looked, so I just got rid of it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
She's working out. She just works out her one forearm though. She's like, yeah. Get it. That.
So, in my, I had this issue that it looks like she's working out hardcore, but like in the final version, because you just add more like flowers and veins to it, it gets more forgiving in this way. And if you can see, I did absolutely same technique everywhere. I would bring the image and I would just do the shadow in the same way I just did.
But you're doing some like, and are you gonna show some of this like blending? What else are you gonna? Are you skipping ahead?
No, I was
Yeah.
just, what do you guys want to see? Because I was planning on just putting this flower in. Is it
Yeah.
anything you guys interested to
Perfect.
see?
I'm kind of interested. Yeah, feel free. Anything anybody else wants to see. You do some nice like blending and stuff right in there. It looks like you added a little bit of green. Were you just painting
yeah,
for
yeah.
those?
You're famous for it now.
I do handstands. Like, hey, did you guys see us yesterday? We both did handstands.
Yeah. It's like
We both did. We're like
in the
handstand
end
buddies.
with like a titles. Yes.
Maybe we'll do it once we're off the stream. We could do a handstand because
Yeah.
off in the corner, not in front of the green screen, because we would get in trouble.
I guess I'll do the blending in.
Because we're right there. At least if we completed this stem to really sell that it's part of the vein.
Absolutely, let's
and
do
then
that.
That's
yes.
it.
So one thing here, I like to do the gradient map. Gradient map is a great way to, like, first of all, right now it will be hard to blend in green and white because white here almost does not have any information. Well, green has lots of information, like in terms of the values. So I would, this is our flower.
I agree. Garvey, yeah, would love to see the grainy noise in the final is really nice too. Not to derail you, but we'll do that later. So
yes, but I also did it partly because original image already has some noise, and in order to merge things together nicely, I needed to do that. Okay. So in order to get things right, I'm going to remove it for now. I'm merging everything and converting it to a smart object and going to the camera raw filter. So I need some information on the veins. Right now everything is very blown out.
Really light, yeah.
Yeah, so let's get to the place where we have it. Okay, and from here you can do the, I'm just showing different ways. There's different way how you can turn it green, obviously, like a million ways, but I like the gradient map a lot because you can kind of control your how bright things are and the color of it in the same time, sort of. Makes sense?
Yeah, and I could imagine you're going to be painting with this color, if you will. Right?
Yeah, I'm creating like overall layer, which I'm going to mask it with the vein shapes. So see, like this looks close enough to the steam. So I'm grouping it, putting it into a mask, converting the mask so I can paint it, and just paint it. You can see that right now it's not, like, it's blending in greatly with the steam itself, but not as great with the, like, everything else. So we just need a little bit of like extra layer level.
And would your flow is at 100%. I like, would you ever dial that down so it's
sometimes, like, but like, I feel like I almost never do because my tablet settings set on like, if you look at it, it's firm, so it's firmer. So
you can kind of already get those same results, kind of.
Yeah. Okay, so, and I think I'm going to duplicate it one more time, but with like a something like in between look. So
thank you for the question, Paul. Paul has a question about large format printing.
What's up? What's the question?
In terms of like large format printing, and thank you so much, Paul, for coming back. Because I was like, you know what, Sasha at least will kind of point us in the right direction. How would you take this poster and make a large format version that's going to go on the side of a building or something?
So, I mean, usual process would be finisher. There is like a special profession called finishers, like in Mortal Kombat. Finish it. Well, so
finish him. Finish it. Finish that design.
Yeah, they usually take the art which been created. They appraise it to a resolution they need, like a resolution like client asks for, and then that's why like we keep saying like don't work in non-destructive way, keep just images as it is. So when you appraise it to the big resolution, your stock images, because they're smart objects, will hold on to like the maximum size possible, and then and after that there is not much you can do. There is like certain filters and certain like all the noises help, and all the like frequency separation methods help, but it's like not much you can do. It's you still, if your original photos weren't like high quality enough, then that's it.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess what would the finisher be? What would they be doing? Like kind of recreating parts to build in that Christmas?
Yeah. Like for example, they work a lot with like hair. They do lots of things to recreate people's hair in an awesome way. Like finishers do some amazing things, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, Lisa Carney does that sort of thing, and she has workshops and stuff. I just posted a link to her website, but she's in LA, and that's like her job.
Yep,
Lisa Carney Finishing Station. That's like her handle, and that's all she does. So like this is something that would get sent to her.
Yeah. So you sort of just paint in it, and you can tell that this is losing a little bit of the this shape, because it becomes just a flat green.
Yeah.
So in order to bring it back, let's try it again. I'm grabbing my veins, putting it on top, and maybe let's try camera raw again, because sometimes I feel like camera raw just brings back more information, which is kind of like, I don't think a thing, because it's 8-bit image, there is information what is there. It's not like anything new, but sometimes just does better job.
Julia Masalska. Good to see you, Julia. She's been a designer with us, and I think she's coming back in a couple weeks. So good to have you here, Julia. Fun when you can impress a fellow guest. So she says awesome work.
Nice. So you can tell that like this way I can paint back a little bit of the highlights.
How are you?
So what I did, I took the vein layer on top, and I did the camera raw filter to bring more of the highlights on top. Sorry, I'm just like...
Okay, so you like duplicated it. It's like you have two... Do you now have two layers for the veins?
Yes.
For the,
yeah,
for the
and
vein.
yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's working. Like that just gives it more depth.
Hopefully, yeah. And sometimes I just go straight painting.
Julia, where are you from? I'm sorry, I can't remember where Julia's from. Julia, where are you from? Let us know. I feel bad that I don't remember. I don't know if it's like Ukraine or I'm probably way off. Oh, slow clap, Jan Erik. Gardening is in her blood for this.
Oh yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I like it.
Puns, jokes. That's actually a good one, Jan Erik. You work hard, you know? He works very hard on puns and things. I'm like, hey, you know what? I think you landed one there. Good job.
Okay, so this will look better also as soon as you put some actual leaves. Like as you can tell on the final result, like I went through this whole process of getting all this like greenery in a correct way, and then what I did in the end, I just grabbed everything, put it in 1 week layer, did a mask, and then just again just with a soft brush did it just slightly in the places where I needed.
Yes, look at you.
Always kind of like, I don't know how about you guys, I have a tendency to overdo things, so sometimes it's better to just like take it down a notch.
I love it. And it's just so fun to watch. Like you're just painting
Hopefully,
it. It's like
I don't know.
coming
To me, I'm like, I hope they're not falling asleep there.
They're not falling asleep. No, sorry. Julia's from Ukraine. That was right. Really good to have you here.
Okay, so I'll comp the other flower in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here will be the same deal. I'm grabbing the flower, which I already like. It was this guy here. I'm bringing the flower in.
And now you're right. She's very talented. I'm learning a lot. Just everything from simple shadows, and really, I mean, you're going like kind of in depth with the veins, if you will.
Hopefully.
You know.
So I brought the flower, and again,
wow, what a difference too. By the way, just seeing that contrast.
Yeah, I need to match the lighting again. Like lighting, like we have a light source coming. The same deal, light source coming on the girl from here and in flower here. So we need to rotate it. Like always look at the light. It's really, really hard to like paint the light. Some people do, but most of the time it's like not even like, it's just really hard. So if you can just match the lighting, that will be perfect. Okay.
About 22 minutes to get your final submissions in for creating your own movie poster today, by the way.
And same deal, we're turning it to the smart object. Then we're going to filter, camera roll, cranking exposure down to bring back the information, which was kind of blown up a little bit. And see how much information is there comparing to like what was in the image. And all the information is there already. It's just like you kind of have to.
Yeah, I don't know like how it's bringing it back or where that information was to begin with, like all that stuff. But it's like camera raw seems to do the trick.
Yeah. Also, same deal. Like I see this edge, I'm just duplicating it.
Adi, thank you for hanging out with us from here in Thailand, actually, and it's like 4 a.m. So sorry for keeping you up, but you know what? I'd still say this is time well spent.
Hopefully. If you guys have any questions, because I know sometimes
Well, I think you went so fast. The fact that you're doing it like a second time with a different asset is like really helpful.
Hopefully. But yeah, if you have any questions, please throw it at me. Yeah, yesterday project. Check it out too. It was fun to build.
Yes, that is right.
Yeah, yesterday we did the illustration one. Yesterday was this guy.
Yeah. That was really amazing.
Thanks. It's fun to build.
Yeah. So, and just so everyone knows, Sasha, you kind of do this for a living, you know? Working in the entertainment industry. I don't know, working on on pretty small shows that you may or may not have heard of that aren't that big. I hope they catch on. One of them is called Game of Thrones. That's one. That's kind of how you got discovered, was through just making Game of Thrones fan art.
Yeah,
right?
I was telling Paul this story yesterday. The way how I got here was actually I watched the first season of Game of Thrones, being back in Moscow working as a web designer. Yeah, I used to be a web designer for 5 years.
Yeah, don't even go to some of the other stuff that she does. That's also amazing.
But I saw it and I was like, wow, this is so amazing. I really like the show. So I did a series of wallpapers with the different houses, and it got very popular. And then in a couple months, I got this email from a person working in LA on a new season of Game of Thrones, and they were asking, hey, do you want to work on it too? So, and then they brought me here. Very grateful.
And then they brought you here to the U.S.
Yeah.
Was that what was the agency?
No, that was And Company.
And Company.
Yeah. And I remember, like, I didn't know English very well. I studied, like, I don't know how here, but, like, in LA, lots of people study Spanish, but, like, never go further than, like, how to go to the library. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's the same deal with like Russia. Like, we all study English, but sometimes it's just like the maximum you can say is like, "Hi, my name is Sasha."
And where is the library?
Yeah, and where is the library? Like, I always was impressed. Like, why would you need to know where is the library if you can't even talk?
And once you get there, it's like all the books are in English, like the language you don't understand. So what's the point?
Yeah. No,
Except for a couple.
I remember when I got here, I like didn't know like fork.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's like you actually spent 2 years eating everything with a spoon, since the only thing you know how to say.
It was such a tough time.
she only ate soup for 2 years. That's okay. I mean, we enjoy soup. Yeah. I enjoy soup.
I don't enjoy soup anymore after those two tough years.
Two tough years, just because you couldn't say fork. Yes, Irene, you're right. So to answer your question, you copied the selection, new layer, did a fill with a sampled color, and then you started using the smudge tool. Actually, no, you distorted it then after that.
So just repeating the process very fast. I'm taking the shape of the object with a control, creating a new layer. You can just fill it in, like Alt backspace will fill it in.
Command tab or whatever. Yeah.
See, it's there. And with Control T, I can warp it in sort of mimicking the shape of the face. So you can see probably here it touches it like more because face has the shape where like here you just mimicking the shape of the face as much as you could. You don't need to be like super accurate, just a little bit more. And then from this layer you grab a smudge tool, which I already told you guys. Grab Sam Nielsen's brushes, he's amazing, and it will be in the tools. It will be hard to find because we'll have it in just brushes, but in this particular case it's a tool. And in order to bring it, you need to go to Window and turn it on Tool, because usually it's turned off. So to find it, you need to go to Window, Tools, and in the presets, I use Smudge Nice as my smudge tool, and you just smudge the edges of the shadow. You should try maintain like a sharper shadow in the area where it's closer to the face and where it's farther from the face. Like in here, for example, it's far away. You can just like blur it a lot. And then after you're done with your shadow work, like with the contours of the shadow, you just you click Control on it, create a new layer and create a mask. You can delete the previous one. And this one, you just need to paint it.
So now you're painting with that same color, but
Yeah.
basically that whole previous process was really just got you at the selection.
Yeah, just to get me like the edges
Okay.
of the correct edges
Yeah.
of the shadow. So, yep, this is the shadow. And now let's put this flower under the hand, which would be, I put them in a group. Then I'm getting the contour of the hand.
I feel like you should have put some tulips there.
Tulips. This would cost me another credit in Adobe stock, and I have such a like Napoleon plans
Yeah.
the rest of it. Why tulips?
Because it's by her tulips.
Ah.
That's why I was like making a bad joke. I was channeling my Jan Eric.
So you grab this, do the vector mask, then go into the path with control, clicking on the work path, and then you have this group, which I grouped before, and you create a mask for it, and you invert the mask. So now the flower is underneath her hand. And the same deal, we need to now draw a shadow on the flower, because we have
okay, it gets a little more complex.
it's pretty much same deal in this particular case, because I'm going to paint the shadow, because you know the flower has more complex shape. I created a new layer, clipped it in the layer of our flower, and here I'm just painting it the shadow. Shadow will be like farther away in the crevices because it's farther away from the hand. Also, this is a spherical shape, so the shape will go like this. I'm pretty much trying to mimic the shape of the flower. And
I like it. You have, less than 15 minutes. Yeah.
okay, so after this, same deal. You're grabbing a smudge tool and smudge it more when it's farther away from the actual shape, and smudge it less where it's closer to the hand in this case. So,
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. Like, Christina, so hopefully everybody's been watching from the beginning. Again, you can always rewind. Really, you're only using 2 Adobe stock photos.
yeah, it's
One
just a
of
good
her.
good photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this photo of the girl is really just, I feel kind of like bad for just taking credit for the image, because it's like so much of it is just amazing image. It's so important to pick right photos from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and
Yeah, Jan Eric, I would sit here and just watch you. I want you back every week. Let's go hang out. Why don't you just like move to San Francisco?
you guys have way too expensive rents here.
Yeah,
LA
it's
is
pretty.
cheaper.
Let's say. Even though LA is expensive, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay, so
it's really cool.
doing the shadows, shadows. Yeah. I'm matching kind of color of the shadow with this color, so that's
I'm
why
really
I'm
curious.
saturating it.
I'm really curious too. At some point, I know we have like 10 minutes before we look at the challenge submissions, but like matching the grain, because I did notice that the
Okay, yeah, we can totally get into the grain part. Absolutely.
yeah, because the looks like the photo has a little bit of grain,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem is like your shadows don't. Your shadows are like perfect.
Yeah, so in order to do that, you can just create a new layer. You fill it in with like black and white. Well, like in my case, let's do black. You need 50% gray. This is my easy way to do that.
Okay.
You can pick 50% gray. You don't need to do what I just did. But because I usually like, where is the 50% gray? I just D, I think D. No, it was...
Command U.
What was the update in the color? I do it so often that I kind of
What are you looking to do?
zoned out there. Oh, D, yes. So D hotkey changes whatever you had
the
in a picker
default.
in black and white default colors. So then you fill the screen with black. Control U will bring you your hue saturation thing, and you hit lightest 50. Then you can change it to the smart object, go into the filter, then noise, and add noise. And from there you can change the blending mode to overlay or soft layer, depending on how much noise do you want.
So a 50% gray layer with noise.
Yes. So one more time, you have gray layer, converting into smart object, going to the filter, noise, add noise, adding the noise, and then switching blend mode to overlay. And for example, I think it's fine to have like just overlay
Over the whole thing?
Yeah, looks fine, but sometimes, for example, you don't want this much noise over everything. You can do the same thing. You can create a mask and just paint the noise on top of the, like in this case, like to match it more with your image.
Dimitar says you're dropping more knowledge than his 4-year university did.
Well, it's good. I'm very
It's
happy,
good. And
guys.
she'll only charge you for 1 year of it.
Yeah,
But yes.
sure.
I think by the end of this, we all get a certificate of graduation on compositing.
I hope so. I didn't know that it exists. Does it? Is it
What's
a thing?
that?
Is the certificate on the compositing is a legit
no,
thing?
it's not how you
Have to
do
be.
that. But it should be.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so and same deal. I'm going to color correct this flower. Bringing, well, I learned that hue saturation here works totally fine. Bring hue saturation. It's already clipped. By the way, so in my case, see there is already a layer which is clipped. If I create this layer, if I create hue saturation right now, it will just be automatically clipped, so I don't need to clip it. If I create my hue saturation on the top layer, it creates it not clipped, so you need to clip it. Just the little things.
okay. Yeah.
So switching to yellow, and
'Cause-
from here,
Okay, yeah, good.
switching back to this like pinkish look.
Get some love from Vietnam. Somebody's also from, did I see? I can't read your name, but from Vologda?
Vologda.
Vologda?
Vologda.
Vologda?
Vologda, yeah. It's
Vologda?
this beautiful city in Russia.
Oh, is it really?
Mhm.
Wow. How do you say that name? That Russian name?
Sergei Priputnev.
Sergey?
Yeah. Is there any questions?
No? They're
Cool.
just like, they're
Well,
just impressed. And I'm like, does she have poison ivy? This is if you go with poison ivy untreated, this is what happens?
Yeah,
You
maybe.
start to
It's actually
sprout.
when I worked on it, I thought about this movie with Natalie Portman, Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Yeah, like
yes.
you know how like she like it reminded
so
me.
good. I mean, that was kind of a weird, wacky movie.
Yeah,
I
but
like
visually,
that.
visually it was really pretty.
Visually, it was really cool, and I love that type of sci-fi stuff.
Okay, so how many minutes before submission?
About 5.
About 5.
But Helmut's like, keep going.
No, there is things I want to show you guys. Like for example here, let's pretend that I did a lot of work and I actually comped everything in. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's, as you can see, like same process which I've been doing, just a little bit
You're
more
like, no
color
big
corrected.
deal, just making awesomeness.
And here, let's see what I did in here. Okay, so I wanted to remember in my original references, I really like this look on the girls, like redder nose and
Oh
cheeks.
yeah, cute
So,
little.
Yeah, a little touch. So I just created a red overlay on top of everything, and same deal, just masked the thing very slightly, like just with a very soft brush. Then, okay, so this one, again, sometimes I like when I'm done comping stuff in, I like to just combine everything a little bit better with this overlay layer. I'm just creating an empty overlay layer, and with white, I'm pretty much painting with light.
Okay.
And with black, I'm painting shadows. It's very subtle, but you can see, like in this layer, I just painted white on the flowers to like create more like this spherical shape on them. Okay, and then so I added this gradient to keep my composition in the center. It's just a one color gradient. Then, as I said, selective color. That's something I love to do on top of the image, when you just go and you play with colors. You like, you sometimes, like in this particular case, I sometimes really don't know what I'm going for. I'm just like looking at the like feeling.
Okay, just doing some, I don't know, kind of just some like subtle selective adjustments, some selective color adjustments.
And you can go.
I think sometimes when you have, and this is why you did a good job, sometimes when you have two colors that are close to the same color, like you want them to kind of be the same color, and that's why I think you nailed it, like with the lips, between the lips and the flowers.
Yeah. So yeah, this was like an intention in original references. You can see that too, like how in this image her hair actually matches with like flowers. And then I used color lookup just a little bit. I really like color lookups because sometimes you don't know what you're going for.
Yep,
and
I
you
love
just,
color lookups.
And just like what is good. I for a long time like this look, but I sat on it for a second and I'm like, no, I like the like a colder look better. This is film stock, always makes everything kind of like nice, but you need to dial it back because it's so harsh.
Yeah, exactly. And it's already a pretty.
Yeah, I also like all the Fuji and Codex, because if you go for more like vintagey look, it mimics it pretty well.
Yeah, that's cool. I kind of think of it like Instagram. It almost feels like Instagram filters to a degree.
Yeah, and the cool part about those films, what do you call them? Color lookups. You actually can download more, bring them. Like they use
That's
the
a good
same.
idea. Yeah.
It's this. It's the file resolution called Cube, and you can use them the same in like After Effects. They just work through different softwares the same.
And all they are just like a bunch of adjustment layers. At least that's one way to make them.
Yeah.
Because you can have a bunch of adjustment layers and output them.
One thing I like to do sometimes, like in this particular case I didn't, but I like to bring it into a new layer, not layer, but new document. And sometimes I like to play with the image adjustment and HDR toning. So this is very interesting thing too, especially like it works very well in the places where you need lots of details, because it adds details depending on like image. And like this one, I'm telling you, like this I didn't obviously do it because it's not a good example, because image is noisy and this always brings lots of noise into it. But for like any image where you have some like metal stuff, works very well.
Okay. Like it does it like kind of polish it up and like make it look really
It brings
shiny?
all the highlights like to shine more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I forget about that. I remember when that first came out and I had to use it. And the problem with it is like I really wish that
Just
happened.
a filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I placed it a little bit better composition wise. And one thing I like to do a lot is the blur gallery. So I struggled with this for a while. I was like, where is the circle? It turned out it's the same deal as everywhere. Control H hides and unhides it. So I like sometimes to bring blur, radial blur, to like just slightly.
And this was smart. Like having that arm disappear a little bit was really good because it looks like very masculine and almost has too much focus.
Yeah.
And what you're doing now is you're keeping the focus like on the face, on the center of it.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I just edit type.
Yeah,
So,
no big deal. Just like awesome type choices and use and all that stuff too.
Types is a completely like, it's the world of its own. I wish there was like a separate subject on types, because types are awesome. You can like spend so much time doing types, and it's amazing thing. But I'm not diving into this today because it's mostly like comping tutorial I was trying to show.
No, we appreciate it. I think everybody thinks it looks awesome. And look at it when you have it all put together like that. So good. So really impressed.
Thanks.
You're fantastic. You're wonderful. Thank you so much,
great
Sasha.
too. Thank you.
We'll dive into looking at like some
Submission.
of the other posters.
Yeah, and then I can show some like other things like tips.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You did mention that, and I'm like, I definitely want to make sure we have time for it. Right now, we have like 9, 10 to go over. So all of these up here. Thank you so much for submitting, and yeah.
Oh, I love it. Someone watched Anna's tutorial.
Yeah.
Look at the water thing.
Look at that water. Good job.
That's how you know that's been for sure done today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and premieres on Adobe Live
Thank you,
Challenge,
guys.
which is great. Great job, Julian Dufour. Great colors, great everything, huh? Pretty sweet,
Yes,
huh?
amazing.
All right, into it. Let's go to this next one. Wait for it. Some of these are pretty large. Somebody's really into Superman. I get it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would say just to add a little bit of the light spill on an actual figure.
Okay.
That would be
Yeah,
nice.
I agree. Good use of color and everything. All right. H presents Peking ducks.
It's a duck? Oh yeah, there are ducks. Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. It's interesting to look at. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. Good job, Adam Hong. Great work. Martin Broth.
I love it. This is great. This is awesome.
Cool.
It's like, but check this out. See, it's like a road, going into headphones. This is an awesome teaser key art.
Yeah, very, very cool.
High five. Oh,
I
mine.
like it.
This is beautiful.
Gilham. Oh yeah, glitch. Kind of glitch work. That's fun.
Yeah. Use of the design elements.
Mm-hmm.
Job.
Gilham. Good job. Claire Louise Holtz. Harry Potter and the Adobe Challenge. Photoshop has come to Hogwarts.
Nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm. I'd say you use like Puppet Warp and make.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to. Is that supposed to be the same one? Should it be a different one?
But I feel like if it's the same one, it still should be a little bit of like a different
I agree.
motion.
Yep. A little Puppet Warp would fix that.
For sure.
Larissa Monterio, Moondog.
Moondog. Love it.
I could totally see this as a, like, no offense, but like a very much like direct to DVD, like Lifetime movie style.
Absolutely.
I'm into it. Breaking habits. Cool. I don't know how much compositing is going on there. And let's, Jordan Peele, Get Out. Have you seen that movie?
Yes, love this movie. So
Yeah,
great.
it's
I
pretty good.
was rooting last year for it to become Best Picture.
And we had Jordan Peele at Adobe Max.
Oh,
like
really?
right when the movie hit, he was at Adobe Max.
This is
we had him
awesome.
on stage,
Awesome.
and he was hilarious.
Can you brag a little bit?
Yeah, brag.
So, me and my boyfriend, we shot a movie. Like, well, he directed it.
Yeah,
but
let's
I
talk
did,
about this.
I did all the production design and all the VFX for it. And it got to South by Southwest.
High five.
And Jordan Peele's new movie going to premiere there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh yeah, his new one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. Sasha and her boyfriend have a movie at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
It's like next month.
Yeah,
Premiering. It's gonna be like your
we're going in
premiere.
March. Yes, it will be
So
premiering
cool.
there.
That's great.
I can actually show you the posters after we're done with this.
Star Wars. The memes of the Sith. That's fun.
Yeah.
Voodoo Val, he's messing around. I love it. That's fun. Star Wars.
This is awesome.
Yeah, those are great. Let's just do a quick refresh. Looks like we got everything.
Cool. Great job.
Yeah,
I like
everybody did a wonderful job. Like Glitch,
Glitch and Baby
I like
Drivers.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver
I
is just like
still
in
gotta
love.
I gotta double check. I would have to do some searches.
Oh,
Andrew.
Andrew Irwin is there. Andrew Irwin is my creative director in and company who actually brought me here.
Oh, really?
Very excited.
Aw, Andrew, wow. We're
Yes.
just like totally benefiting from your hard work. Like, thank you so much for
Andrew is
bringing.
an amazing designer himself, and he is actually doing. He owns the company who does key art right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's so cool. Sounds like you got hooked in with some like really good people, and it's just
I got lucky.
and we're lucky to have you too. By the way, I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Andrew would say the same thing. Like, just I'm sure you were really appreciated there. That's awesome.
It's all.
Oh, I
being
wanted
part
you to
of the
show your
creative
tip.
thing.
So like this is again, I really like this one too. As again, Julian's.
Oh yeah.
is really
I
cool.
also really liked how this person really used the tutorials, which were shown earlier. So
Yeah, exactly.
I like the
this shows like
appreciation of the work.
learned, applied, like amazing color. Great job.
yeah.
Really into it. So yeah, I guess whenever you're ready, we can switch over to your machine.
Yeah.
If you know.
Wanted to show you guys.
Are you ready?
Oh, I have all my people there. I love it.
You know Thomas Phineas too?
Yes. It's like
They're like you.
It's
They're
actually
like
all
hearts for
those
eyes.
people there. They're like a legit movie poster designers. So you guys hanging out there with like some pros.
we have pros in chat. We would definitely appreciate you, and we got pro on screen. So this is super cool. I'll switch over to you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Just wanted to show like question to the people, like, so for the movie I have two posters, like
Okay.
which one do you like better? So I have either this one or this one.
Ooh, is this for your movie?
Yeah,
Oh, this is like, is this a real world decision that you're working on or no?
like I think like I think we're going with this one just because it's like represents movie better. But me personally, I just like this one a lot.
Yeah, that's super. I feel like this one like tells more of a story. I feel like since it already says something like loneliness, I already get that it's something about loneliness. The first image says lonely to me. This one like kind of says deep loneliness type, and the other one seems more dynamic, like more things are going on. It's why I like it.
Guys, what do you think? The illustration or the comped image?
Can you pull those up like next to each other?
Can I?
And we'll just do left and right. And we'll get...
I can do it in Photoshop, but I can't do it in the browser. So weird. Sorry, just.
Yeah, and we'll put one on. We'll do left or right sort of thing.
Sorry.
You're killing me. You're killing me here.
Hey, close enough. Okay, I'm just.
There you go. So left or right? Which one do you like? So I know some people already voted for 2, and so which would be right? I do like this. This one does say like film. This one could be construed for like an animated short film or something, you know?
Yeah, we had like concerns about this one being more like too indie looking. Well, thank you.
Well, that's it.
Awesome.
Okay, I guess and now you closed them. You
no,
sure?
no. I'm looking at the results
You can keep them up though. Did you just close them?
I'm just.
Can I show you?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, continue to.
I'm looking at what people were saying. I hope it was enough to. Like right now, it's.
Some people are saying left.
But most people said right. Left. Wow, guys, you're not making it easy. Wow.
I don't know, but like, I also want you to just make another one. Like, just so you know, you could have used this time and made a poster for your movie.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Because like seeing these, I'm like, these are awesome. Like, I want somebody just to make a movie based on these posters. They're so nice.
Yeah, guys, come on.
So who wants to make a movie? Because she did all this work on these 2 posters, and number 3 coming tomorrow. And then go ahead. I mean, you also said that you had some random tips and
some random tips if you guys are interested.
I would love to see random tips. It's just a time check. Yeah, we have about 10 minutes, so this is
nice.
perfect.
It's perfect. Yes. Okay, so some tips. I have this.
Linda Friday, good point. What supports the story the most? Because we're like based purely on image, but then again, it's okay to kind of like judge it based on like what am I interested in seeing out of those 2 posters from a viewer's perspective.
I feel like a comp image represents story more than illustration, but I don't know. Let's move on to the tips. So one thing I wanted to show you guys is the sometimes you get some images, some from the movies and whatever, and you really like the coloration of it, or from the posters, really love the coloration, and you kind of want to transfer it into your own image. And I wanted to show you how.
Yeah, please do.
So,
like the cool tones or the green, teal tones of this frame, for instance.
Yeah. So, for example, coloration. I don't know how much you guys familiar with the neutralizing of the image. So when you grab any image which is like already been treated or been shot in a certain environment which makes it too blue or too yellow, and you need to comp it in your other image, you need to have a neutral image. Neutral image means that your grays are gray, your blacks are black, your whites are white. So in order to neutralize the image, you grab the curves. Yeah, it's a Black Panther screen grab. You grab the curves, holding Alt on the blacks. I can see where blacks are. Okay. And I need almost black, so like this area. I'm clicking on it. Then so those three icons represent black, midtones, and whites. Then I'm going to the midtones, and I'm looking for the object which is absolutely gray or white.
Yeah, how do you figure that out?
So I assume his shirt is probably a good example.
Yeah,
gray or white, like it should be a neutral color. So I'm clicking on it, and you instantly you can see how the image changed. So like, see, before and after, and same deal. You can do it with whites. I tried it before, and I think in this particular case, it didn't do much. So I'll keep it in just this way. And then you want to move this coloration into your other personal image. So what I would do, you see how it moved all the red, green, and blue channels separately? So what you need to do, you need to invert those numbers. So you click on red. This will be a little boring. Change and swap in numbers. Go to the green. Swap in the numbers. And go to the blue.
You're swapping the input for the output?
Yes. There's probably a faster way to do that.
Okay.
In this case, I didn't do it for like blacks and white, just for the midtones, because black and white didn't do much. But if it would do much, then you would need to swap them too. So, and this way you kind of get a color, like right now, double up the coloration which it had before. But now let's bring whatever image, your personal image or like stock you're working on. So I'm just going to bring a random file. So I'm taking this relevantly neutral. Well, let's neutralize it first too. And you bring this curves into your scene. Not weirdly, you can't really duplicate curves, or not duplicate, but bring it, like copy and paste it. But what you can do, you can grab it with the other layer. Like if you have another tangible layer and you select both of them, you can bring curves in your other scene too, and then just delete it.
Got it.
So see, like this is a coloration which mimics the coloration of this scene.
Do you know how to put two photos side by side? No, let me do an easier way. Just click and drag it and snap right, click and drag it and just to that edge. Yeah, it'll highlight. There you go, perfect.
It's like always the advice from Paul. I like it. I learned so much.
Yeah, no, and I have shortcut keys for a lot of these things. But that works.
Yeah.
So does that make sense, hopefully, everybody? Like you did curves, you identified the blacks.
Yeah, so
midtones.
I neutralized the colored image, and then from there I inverted
the input
all the
and the
colorations.
output.
Yes.
Because for the first image you have the input and the output, and then you flip those two, make the output the input.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I brought it there, and like.
Linda Friday wants to know how the heck you learn everything. Why you gotta learn everything like that?
This I came up with.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Look at you. That is a great tip. Marcus agrees, says loves it.
I got lost already.
Yeah.
Files. And I already did one for the other one, so we don't have to go through the same process of.
Yeah, because have you ever heard of or seen Match Color? Have you ever used Match Color? It's kind of what you're doing, but Match Color.
There are probably ways to do it better and more efficient. Just something I wanted to show you.
But like in Match Color, I feel like to me, I only have a certain number of demo files that it really works on.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's why I like this. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Sasha, you are amazing. I really appreciate you. I think everybody does. Yeah. So every day is a school day here. I would say everybody showed up today. Everybody got full credit for hanging out with us. And people got extra credit who also submitted their designs as part of the challenge today, which is all about posters. I would take these, roll them into your portfolio, so add them to Behance. Tomorrow's a special day.
Yeah,
Because we get
I'm going to post the, what we're going to do tomorrow. I will show you. We're excited about it too. We'll be comping again. And
Are you going to tease it?
So I'm going to do this sort of
I
poster.
love your type work too. That's nice.
Yeah, just
very
something.
cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. And tomorrow we have a little less time because we're going to do portfolio reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So, from 1 to 2:30, and then we'll dive into portfolio reviews. So get those ready. Submit those tomorrow. During all the segments, we will be reviewing a couple portfolios. So thank you so much, Afroja, Derek, Linda, Chad, and everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Thank you so much, guys.
We're going to be here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with Anna. Special thank you to Sasha Vinogradova.
Yes.
Full name, check her out, follow her, stalk her on Instagram, and let's stay in touch, folks. But thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you so much, guys.
We're going to go do handstands now.